So it's the end of March, Conesy.
Yeah, it's the end of March, and lots of things have not got done.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things that have gotten done in the first 3 months of this year.
If you say so.
Oh, for me, yes. It's been
Alright,
a busy year already.
it has. So, we're going to update you on where we're at on this week's Board Games and Coffee. So, grab your drink, buckle up, and let's enjoy the ride. Welcome to Wisco Dice. Hey, yo, folks, I am your host, Conesy with the Most, and I am joined today by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
And it is a time for you all to grab your cup and join us for another round of Board Games and Coffee. What are we talking about today?
Well, it is the end of March, early April by now, so we want to go back and revisit our 2024 gaming resolutions. See where we're at.
Yeah, so I think it's important if you're going to be successful at meeting any resolution that you try to check back in on it and where you are on your resolutions throughout the year. And of course, this actually came to us by request from one of our listeners, so our viewers. So we are going ahead and making sure we do actually update everyone on our updates. But before we get into our updates, what should folks do?
Well, what you should do is, if you have not already, you should
Smash
that like button and then subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when we have more of these wonderful episodes for you.
All right, so with that, let's go ahead and dive into where we're at with our gaming resolutions. Do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Sure, I can definitely start. One of my first resolutions for 2024 was a 10 by 10. I've never done a 10 by 10 before, and this, as a reminder, is not your 10 by 10 where I'm playing a single game 10 times, because I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. So I have 10 different categories that I am tracking my gaming on. So there is a link, probably in the show notes, to where we are tracking it on our website, and it gets updated as frequently as I can. I will say I am, have one game in my solo, so I need to work on my solo some more. Just these last couple of weeks, got a couple more of my 2-player only games, so definitely need to work on that. And, different social...
Legacy, I think you're crushing it.
Yep, Legacy. Legacy, thanks to... Stomeyer Games for sending us the Rise of Fenris for Scythe. I got 8 my Legacy games completed, and I think I'm at 9.
Technically, that's not a Legacy game, but
I have it.
You'll find out more when we review it.
Legacy / campaign type games, and then I'm actually up to 9 on my mid to heavy Euro games. So
that one's usually not a hard one to get in either.
No, and it's one of my favorite categories. So yeah, I've got some work to do though on definitely categories I thought I would be doing better in, such as abstract and my deck building games, because I love deck building games. But I think what I'm finding out is a lot of people I play with are not huge deck building fans. So
I think the new things that are coming off our table of looking for players table has not necessarily been a lot of deck builders lately either. So
we've been playing some other games too that we have. So that's where I am with one of my resolutions, and I only have 5. So Conesy, what do you have? Yep. How are you doing on yours?
So one of my higher in list for me was to go to a dozen conventions this year. Now, I think looking at it right now and the sobering reality of what it takes to go to a dozen conventions, particularly if you have to cover hotel stays and whatnot, that I wasn't probably thinking about as much when I set this resolution, is probably going to make it harder to hit, or potentially that I'm going to miss this one. But I have a lot of great conventions I'm going to be going to, and I've already hit 3. So, I mean, I'm a quarter of the way there.
3 in 3 months. That's
pretty good. It is 3
in
3 months, but I'll cut the summer months when maybe there's less conventions or less local conventions. It's going to be harder to keep that pace up.
And I forget, are you counting just conventions you go to, or conventions that the Wisco Dice team is at some point?
These are conventions I went to personally. I
so
mean, the
mine
Wisco
don't
Dice.
count.
Yep. So midwinter where you went and I wasn't there does not count to my total. So, but yeah, that does put Wisco Dice at 4 conventions so far this year.
Yes.
So I was at we have my friends have a Cabin Con, so I do count that. There's like 20 plus gamers that are at that convention basically for 4 days, where we rent out it's not at this point, it's an old hotel up in the north woods of Wisconsin, and spend 4 days playing games, eating great food, and drinking probably way too much. And then Con of the North up in Minneapolis, we both went to that.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That was a really good time. We just went, we checked out the vendor hall, caught up with our friends at Sophisticated Cerberus Games, talked about the Stifling Dark with them a bunch and their new game.
Met the publisher for Factions.
Yep.
Yep, was
Factions,
out in Milwaukee,
yep.
Actually, Wisconsin. So
and then
that was cool. Learned how to play Factions too.
Yeah, we bought your favorite game that you mispronounced.
Sky Pockets. Actually, it's Sky Rockets. But I thought it looked like Sky Pockets, which was very intriguing.
Yep. So
it's a fun, like, real-time game.
Yep. So a lot of really good, lot of really cool experiences there. This weekend is Adepticon weekend. Of course, it's also GaryCon weekend, and I couldn't be at both at the same time. So I went to Adepticon.
Yeah, you need to look at that. Would help this out if you could just split into 2 people.
There's some possibility there, because typically Adepticon the last 2 or 3 years I just go for Thursday and Friday events for Batman. So maybe on the way back I could just I'm stopping off at GaryCon and experiencing GaryCon for a day or 2.
Oh, that's a good
idea.
We'll
see how that goes. I mean, also how that is asking for a lot of driving and a lot of being worn out over the course of a weekend. But hey, there is potential there, right? So I definitely had a great time at Adepticon this year. I played a lot of Batman. I had one of the best. Even though I was really stinking it at the table, I did not play well at all. It's
been
largely
since you've been able to play.
Largely, probably a lack of play, just experience and stuff like that. And then throwing new models at it was probably not the best idea. But
that sounds like fun to me.
I mean, I had a lot of fun. My Bat family was very aggressive and was doing a very good job of removing models from the table, but it was not scoring points and winning games, which is ultimately what you have to do in that game to do well. But it was, coming off of Friday, I was running between games, just taking a quick step out of the room to get a breather in. And I don't know if you're watching this video, thank you so much, because you really made my day by saying, "Hey, Wisco Dice, love your videos. Thanks for watching. Really appreciated that. You really kind of elevated what I was, having a bit of a frustrating con of losing games. Just brightened my day just immensely, and it meant so much to me. So thank you so much. And that certainly, at least for us as content creators, it definitely went a long way to making me feel a lot better about everything we do, everything that I was doing that day, because like I said, I was not playing well.
You were having a tough day.
I was having a tough day.
But so you're on track right now for that goal.
Yep, absolutely. Technically, I'm on track, but I think it's going to come up short. I think we're going to be about 8 to 10, somewhere between there. But we'll see. Well, we'll see if what pops up locally here we might be able to attend.
I am definitely coming up short so far on my next one, which was to go to board game meetups, which I have not done. We have our last Friday of the month that we do at Misty Mountain Games here in Madison, that we have gaming there, and we have our regular gaming nights at our place or our friends. But I just haven't been able to make it work with the timing of other things that I need to be doing and making it to some of these. So they're on my calendar now. So I'm going to try and prioritize them in this next quarter.
Yeah, and I need to try to make sure I'm available to help you out and kind of be there too, because I want to do this too. I want to be there.
Well, and it's easier than if you're like, hey, we need to get this done at home, and I'm like, sorry, I'm going to go play board games. You can stay and work on chores at the house. Like, that seems kind of mean.
I mean, it's at some points I think that's what's probably going to have to happen, but at the same time, I do want to go. I really do as well.
Yeah. So if you're in the Madison area and you have a meetup that you know of that maybe I haven't come across on Facebook, let me know too, because that would, maybe it's on a day that I can actually make it work.
Yeah, or if you're like us over on Madison East and wish there was a board game meetup in your area, let us know that too, because that might be something we can help with as well.
So, all right. So what else you got on your list, Conesy?
All right, so my next one was to play 400 games in person. So I'm happy to report I have 109 game plays at this point for the year. Now, not all of those are in person. Some of those are digital plays, probably about 15 to 20% of those. So I'm somewhere between about 80 or 90 in-person plays at this point, which is pretty good considering a 400 game goal, in-person play goal. I need to make sure that there's about 100 of them a quarter, and we're just wrapping up this quarter. So I'm pretty much on track there, and I'm feeling pretty good about actually hitting it.
We just need some more bad weather where we have to stay inside.
Yes, the spring and the spring season is where we have a lot of outdoor yard work and things like that. That's going to be challenging for the two of us to get to the table.
And in the summer when we just, want to be outside and enjoying the weather before it
depends
snows
on how hot
again.
it depends on how hot it is. But
Very true. Very true.
So I think that's on track.
Outdoor games.
You don't like Hive, so it's the game you can play anywhere.
I may need to learn to like Hive. There's nothing wrong with Hive. It just does not work for me.
It's not a game for you. I mean, that's totally fair.
It does not work for me.
So for getting 400 games in person has been really good, and hopefully I'll have a better rundown on the stats of that when we report in next time, because I'd love to break it down a little bit more about like which games are the ones that I'm playing the most. Certainly a game like Scythe for the Rise of Fenris is going to be high right now because we played it 8 times to get through the campaign for that, so that we can provide a review soon for it. But there's going to be some other games that I think are really interesting to see. Batman's going to be a real high one too as well, because I just came off a convention where I played eight games of it over 2 days, plus any other plays that I have.
Plug for Batman is, if you enjoy, it's DC Comics, right?
It is.
If you enjoy DC Comics and the Batman family, like Harley Quinn, all that stuff, this is a game that is so fun to play because you pick a crew and it's like you're acting out the characters in the movie. For me, at least. I am not competitive. Or the comic books, sorry. I like playing them like, hey, this is what, who I see in the movie together. Which is not a winning strategy.
No, it's not.
But it's fun. So.
All right.
All right.
That's where I'm at getting the in-person plays. So I'm really happy. I'll be really excited if I can actually make 400 in-person plays. It's a little harder than I thought it was going to be, but at the same time, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So my next one is my one that kind of takes me out of my comfort zone and is trying to push me, and it is just interacting with other online gaming groups on Facebook, Discord, or Reddit, someplace like that, because I see so much in all different Facebook groups where people are not always the kindest when someone has an opinion.
That doesn't happen ever on social media. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. Or, it has a misunderstanding or is confused about a rule that everyone else thinks is very clear. So, I've been working on it with some different Facebook groups, having a few comments there, and haven't had any bad reactions to my comments yet. But, it just makes me a little nervous, so I am working on that. I will get it there.
I'll tell you, if you have been paying attention to the Wisco Dice social media lately, you'll notice hopefully an uptick in the quality of our posts and the quality of the images we're using. So she's doing a lot on her social media front.
So that's
not just in trying to engage, but hopefully you're seeing that come out from us as well.
So that's Wisco Dice social media. I'm talking about like when I'm out there with my name.
I'm just giving you credit for the work you're doing.
I appreciate that, but when I'm out there and not having this pseudo protection of Wisco Dice name. Yeah, that's like makes me a little bit more nervous. So, but anyway, that's my stretch myself goal for this year. What else you got there, Cozy?
So, I talked about how I wasn't real happy last year with the amount of miniature hobby I did. Miniature hobby is a big thing for me. So, and this year I did start off really well. We kind of joked about Mansions of Madness and that I need to get that painted. So there's been a big chunk of models that have gotten done. Adepticon was a motivator, so I painted some Batman miniature game miniatures for that. And then our D&D campaign wrapped up, and I have a new D&D campaign getting going, so I'm going to need new miniatures, new different monsters and things like that.
Of course, you can't reuse anything.
I do have a lot. I have a lot that can be reused, but there's always going to be new stuff as well, new critters and whatnot. And as a miniature person that is, that's not miniature, but miniature gamer that has played a lot of games completed a lot of models. It's important to me to try to for our D&D game to have everything at least painted to a tabletop standard, where it's at least a single color on all those parts and stuff. I think that helps with the immersion, and I know that's not achievable by everyone. I'm not trying to hold anybody else to that standard, but that's my RPG table. Is typically, if we're going to use figures, they're going to be all painted, and at least the ones I'm using. And
I will say, generally, when you are painting miniatures and you've got these things created, you are just much happier person all around. Not that you're ever grumpy, but it just is like hey, this is something you really enjoy and you feel good about doing.
The sense of accomplishment that comes from, I think, getting figures done. So I am doing really well on that goal, actually, and I'm at 40 figures of my 100 already painted. And that's not counting any additional little hobby projects like miniature terrain. Like I made some RPG bookcases and for D&D and stuff.
Of those up.
Yeah, I mean, if folks are interested in learning how I do some of that crafting for D&D, I'm happy to do some content for that. You just let us know in the comments. But it felt really good getting some of that stuff done too. But that doesn't count towards my 40 figure count. So I've really been motivated this year on the hobby front. I hope that keeps up for the rest of the year, because I'd love to not only achieve this goal, but maybe sink it by, like, say 50 or 100 figures.
Sure. Yeah, so this is a goal that I have only made progress in my head on. It's not documented anywhere, but I wanted to start a new YouTube series this year to play off of a blog series that I had been doing for a bit called Board Game Brunch, where I pair some sort of food or a meal with a game that we play. And I've just been, trying to think of ideas, and it's kind of just stuck in my head, and I just need to do it. So.
Well, and I'm going to say that this one ties in with my next one I'm going to talk about, which is weight loss. So this was kind of my big one from the resolutions video that I talked about, and it's a big topic because I'm a big guy and I need to do something about that, and it's been a struggle. So you have undertaken a new diet where it's very carb restricted.
Oh, yeah.
With a nutritionist that's helping guide you through this process, which is also, when it ties into things like Board Game Brunch, it definitely constricts our ability from foods that we can prepare right now to be able to map up with your dietary restrictions right now. So assuming things go well with your dietary restrictions, that they'll start to open up in another 30 days or so, and that'll make it a little less difficult for us to be able to do something like Board Game Brunch. So right now, we've kind of put that a little bit more to it's on the radar. We want to get it done. We want to start recording it, but we need to take care of some life issues that are tied to weight loss. Now, since you started that, because my weight loss journey has not been good since the beginning of the year, I haven't gained weight, but the weight loss has not come off, and any kind of dieting has not been there. But until you started this, and we both started focusing on tracking, and I'm really supportive of it, and it has benefited. I think both of us, we've seen actual some pounds come off.
Yeah.
It's not big yet. We're not talking about tens of pounds. We're talking about, count pounds on two hands type of weight loss right
That's
now.
still
But
significant. It's
we're
been
only
less than
about
a
three.
month.
Yeah, we're less than a month into this journey. So it's
than a
that's good. Like I said, I said, hey, I'm going to start this at the beginning of the year, but really we're just kind of getting it started now, which is awesome. We're seeing it. We're getting things moving in the right direction, and really the goal is to be in what we're going to call Gen Con shape, where we can handle
20,000 steps a day.
Without caving in after 4 days or after 2 days.
And being able to get up and keep going the next
Yep.
day for another 20,000.
Yeah, because I definitely, I could say that year I had lost 50 or 60 pounds and was walking a mile or two a day. I was that was probably from a physical, not being exhausted year, that was the best year I'd been to Gen Con. So I think both of us would really enjoy that convention a lot more if we were more physically fit. So
I've just always enjoyed it.
That kind of touches base. That kind of ties those two together. I think it's important. I think, to understand where we're at with that, because we do want to bring that content back. Board Game and Brunch was one of my favorite things to do.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and especially when we start
You can see
tying
what
some of the really
amazing
unique
cook I am
historical
not.
dishes together with board games. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, did I tell you I bought the Tasting History cookbook?
Oh, I did not. So yeah, if
my
you're interested
YouTube channel.
in historical cooking,
Love this
we'll put the link to the channel up above. But Tasting History, which is a really popular, dude's got a lot of subscribers.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
really popular channel, but we do recommend you subscribe anyways if you aren't already. But Tasting History, he tells a little bit of history and prepares historical dishes, from things like what do the people in first class eat on the Titanic to what do they eat at the Colosseum in Rome. So it's all these really cool concepts and dishes, and he did put out a cookbook.
And we have so
recently,
many games that are at different periods in history.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I'm like, oh, that's a great way to tie
Yeah,
it in.
so it is. It's absolutely, you can find extra recipes that help, because he's done a lot of the work to translate ancient recipes into modern style
you can actually
recipes,
do.
so that you can actually replicate them at home and try those things. And so pairing, it's a great thing to pair food with a board game. And the idea is with Board Game Brunch is to give hopefully you guys ideas on how you can pair some fun things together to maybe make your next game night or
gaming get
party
together.
or gaming get together much more enjoyable.
Yep. So that being said, I do have one more resolution that I'm going to say I'm on track with. It's not a huge one, but it's to develop gaming mat storage, and also organize our gaming library. So I did get some of these. If you're a crafter, you've probably seen those vinyl roll holders on Amazon.
And this came from a recommendation from somebody, and they posted. We mentioned it on the show or something like that, and put it in a comment on Facebook, and they commented on Facebook and let us know.
Yes, which was awesome, and it works great. I needed the plastic that you hold it into to kind of come out of that, hey, it's all been packed for how long, vacuum sealed shape, so it's more pliable now. So I'm going to label them so we know which one it is for each
Gotta
mat.
have everything labeled.
Oh my gosh, but who wants to sit there and go through 30 mats and pull each one out to try and guess which one it is?
Pretty soon, she's going to put labels on the boxes for the games. I'm going to go away for a weekend for a convention. I'm going to come back, and there's going to be little labels on all the boxes.
So that's the next thing, is that I have been doing some research into a simple at-home barcoding system.
Oh, Lord.
So that I can create a database and scan and track and know which shelf things are at. Yeah, but I think it'd be so cool to walk into our game library and have it kind of feel like an actual library, where you've got your tablet that you can, as our card catalog, and you can search for the game or slide through it into the games, and then it'll tell you exactly where it is, which shelf it is, and which row on that shelf it is. Might not have to say the exact place on the shelf, but just which shelf. And
I think this is
I think it just
but
be. I mean, I'm
there,
not. I think
there
it'd
is
be
a
fun.
small coolness
I've
factor
seen
to
like
it too.
very nice handheld barcode scanners that I can get, and
Oh,
label
Lord.
maker scanners that are on removable labels.
This is gonna be crazy. Anyways,
Oh, let me know if you think that would be an awesome idea to have.
and if you really want to see us create content about it, or you want to see how she does this, let us know in the comments below as well. Or if you just want to see her drive me crazy.
Yes, I vote for that one. Okay, but those are my resolutions of where I'm at.
So I do have the final one, and that's a kind of more of a Wisco Dice and or us goal, and that
Us
is
goal?
the studio.
Oh yes.
So we mostly due to you, but I did
Hate
go in
unfinished
there and do a little
projects.
work.
Oh, you did. I haven't.
Right. Well, I was in there. No, I was in there, and I pulled like that thing that was in the
Oh.
that motion sensor off the ceiling, and
Yes.
tied up the electrical, and I did a little bit of futzing while you were in there working. My
Yes.
back was not as good climbing
No.
up and down the ladder as
I
yours.
know. I don't like unfinished projects, and this is not one that we can, with where we're at right now, with a lot of things that we can just knock out in a weekend.
Right.
We could actually.
Well, we need to buy some stuff too, so
We gotta make some decisions on ceiling.
we're gonna probably make some compromises to get it done enough for the game table, and be able to get in there for when that arrives. Now the plus side is our gaming table hasn't shipped yet. We haven't gotten that shipping notification from Geek and Son, so our new
Yeah.
table that's going to go in there is not ready yet, which is a good thing. At least, I mean, as much as we're excited to get the new table,
that
we
shit
need to
can
be able
take
to have
its time.
we need to have a place to put it and be able to
Right.
play at it. So the goal is to get the room up to a point where we can put the table up in there. So the next major pieces and what I was trying to get done was we really need to get the paint now finished, including painting the ceiling. We'll go back in and change the ceiling, I think, later. I think we've picked out we've loosely picked out the product I think we want to put up for some rock facade on the walls versus
Yeah, the
using
facade,
wallpaper for that we had originally talked about.
Which I think will be better in the long run.
I think so too. So there's that, and then but that doesn't, like, the big thing will be getting the painting done. We just need to get the painting done and get the light up before
Yes.
we get the table in there. Then once that's done, everything else I think we can do kind of around it as we have time and or can afford it in the budget. And then hopefully by the end of the summer or so, we'll have the studio done to a point where we can start shooting video in there.
Yes, which is going to be lovely, because while I'm sure all of you enjoy looking at our, bar area, it'll feel like we can leave it set up too.
Yeah, the backdrop will be better, and
Yes.
ultimately the backdrop will be better, and the room will be dedicated not only for gaming. It's going to be a great experience for anybody that's going in there to play a game, whether it's a board game or an RPG. You're just going to feel, I think, more immersed in that experience.
Yes, it's going to be nice and cozy too.
I mean, it is. It's a larger. It's a bedroom, right? It's a standard bedroom size room.
Right. No, it'll be. I mean, it'll be. I guess. Sorry. Maybe intimate is more the right word than cozy,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have these walls, and there's nice windows to see what's going on outside, but it's not gonna be this giant open space.
Yeah, and
we'll still
have more work even after, like, we get it to the point where we thought it was going to be done. We'll still have more work. I think the closet doors, that piece of it that are in there, we're going to have a decision to do. That whole closet is not currently part of the scope of the project we're doing. So that will still be, it'll look a little weird compared to the rest of the room. Just when the closet doors and stuff are open. So there's more work in there. We're actually going to create a video of where when we have the project done, we'll put out a video that kind of showcases the whole evolution of creating our kind of dream gaming room. I mean, we have this. We're pretty blessed as far as gaming space is concerned. But this is going to be
bonus when we got
this is
house.
going to be the immersive, like, gaming space. That's going to be like, okay, when you go in there, you really feel like you're.
It's like gonna be kind of a fantasy-ish type theme, so
More-
which is what we like.
More
so.
news when we start the reveals for that. But that is a gaming goal that is moving forward. I think it will be on track to get to where we finish the project. Maybe not the ceiling, but the rest of the project by the end of this year. And hopefully we can figure out budget and whatnot to do the ceiling as well. So
Yes. So, all right. So those get us through our gaming resolutions updates for
Yep.
2024. Let us know in the comments where you are at, if you made any gaming resolutions or even just any resolutions for 2024. It's a great place to kind of hold yourself accountable a little bit and put it out there where you're at. And it is motivating to get back on track to keep checking in on these things, I find. So we'll do this again in a few months.
yeah, it absolutely is. So thanks for keeping up with us, and we appreciate all your kind words and motivation, whether it's at a convention or in the comments below. So until next
Or
time,
in person when we see you outside.
yeah,
You
or
just
in person.
random and run
Yeah.
into you.
I'm not sure where that came from, but until next time, enjoy your coffee and enjoy your games.
Hey there, it's Conesy. Thank you so much for watching. We put out videos weekly here at Wisco Dice. Check out our channel for more great videos and don't forget to subscribe. We also have more great content on our website at wiscodice.com. Of course, we do this all for you, the viewers. So please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.